happiness is a choice. Now, that phrase, when I put it on Instagram or I talk about it on an Instagram reel, pisses a lot of people off. It triggers a lot of people because they're like, well, you don't know my life and you don't know what's happened to me. You have to understand, not some like feel good slogan. And I'm not being all woo woo when I'm like, hey, happiness is a choice. Your life is on fire. Act like it's not on fire. What I'm saying, it's not a feel good slogan. It's neuroscience. Your brain is always rewiring itself. Always. And every time that you try to find something good, which means that you are not being on autopilot anymore, but you're actually taking time and energy and intention to find something good, you're actually strengthening the part of your brain that is responsible for positive pattern recognition. Now, on the opposite side of that, if you are actually looking for the bad in something, you're strengthening the part of your brain that's responsible for negative pattern recognition. And so in neuroscience, there's a thing called Hebb's Law, and they say neurons that fire together wire together, which means at any time that you think something a certain way, that wiring becomes stronger. And if you decide that you want to think differently, you're going to actually start to wire together new neurons that have never been together. And so when you practice happiness and gratitude and finding the good in things, especially when you don't feel like it, you're actually literally reshaping your brain. You're doing three different things. You're strengthening your prefrontal cortex, which is where your decision-making and your optimism comes from. You're soothing your amygdala, which is where your fear and your threat detection comes from. And you're building more dopamine receptors in your brain, which is where motivation and pleasure comes from. So over time, this actually will become your new default setting. So you don't even have to try to find the good in things. You'll actually just start living that way. And I can tell you from 100% in my own anecdotal story, trust me, I was the definition of a negative Nancy when I was younger. I could find the negative in anything, and I could give excuses, and I could tell you why I was screwed over all the time and why life wasn't working out for me, and other people always had good luck and I had bad luck. But now my default setting is to find the good in everything. But I also do, just so you know, have the overall, because now that I've been living my life now for a while and I've seen things happen for my benefit, even when I didn't think they were going to be in my benefit, I truly believe, and I have this like just thought over my entire life, that with all 40 trillion of my cells, I believe it, that everything that's happening in my life is happening for me. Not happening to me, because if it's happening to me, I'm a victim. If it's happening for me, then it's actually happening for me to learn or grow or get better or to have a better life. And I believe that to my core. And so let's actually tell you with research. So I gave you my anecdotal, oh yeah, this is what happened in my life, but I don't want to just give you fluff. I wanted to actually talk real studies for those of you guys that want proof, right? So there was a study that was done at Indiana University where they used fMRI scans to show participants who practice gratitude. And they showed that the people who practice gratitude showed more activity in the medial prefrontal cortex of their brain, which is the area that's linked to learning and decision-making. They studied them 6 months later, and they actually found that the effects lasted over 6 months after the study ended, which means when you train yourself to look for the good in something, your brain eventually starts doing it on autopilot.